Howdy again, it's Mr. Pete, the original YouTube shop teacher. Welcome back. And this is episode number 83A, the question portion of my What Is It mystery series. I've got some real interesting tools to show you here today to see if you know what they are. And I'm going to back up and cover a couple other things that we now know about this, or I know about it, and talk about a few other things, including the last video, which was 82B, and I had been whining, complaining, as it is my wont to do, about the low numbers, but 82B exploded with, I don't know what it was, 50,000 views or something. It started out real slow, and then something kicked in. So at the end, I'm going to talk about video analytics on that and see if we can figure out why. And it's a fluke. That won't happen with this one. We'll be back to 7,000. You just watch. By the way, be sure and go into the video from time to time, over and over, to read the comments, because you get a lot of interesting information with the comments. Some correct, some incorrect. So you have to take that with a grain of salt. But I enjoy reading the comments. I do not answer comments in this particular series. So let's begin with this. And well, before I start with this, I'm going to back up to this, and we never truly did identify it in the last one, but I got the answer right now. If you watched the last episode, 83B, this was included, and I do not believe we had a single correct answer. There were some pretty good guesses and some creative guesses and some funny guesses as to what this does, but I now truly know. I visited my friend Gary, who is a skilled clockmaker, chemist, repairman, collector of clocks and watches, and I made a video several years ago of his shop, and in just a minute I'll put a clip of that so you can watch those videos. I think there was a lot of people that watched it. Extremely interesting, and he's a great guy. But in visiting him the other day, just last week, I just happened to see one of these on his bench. And I said, "What is that?" And he went into great detail. He has about 3 or 4 of them. So let's take a look at that now. These are pictures on my phone. Okay, here's a picture in Gary's shop. You can see he's got 4 of those. All different shapes and sizes. They probably made them in many sizes. This is a picture of his workbench, one of his many workbenches where he works on clock movements and does repairs. That's why you'll want to take a look at the other videos. And here's a picture of him actually using it. It is a tool used to straighten or repair watch cases, typically a pocket watch that has been damaged and will no longer close. So that's the purpose of it. Finally, we know. Gary had some great pictures there, and I took pictures of his pictures. This is a 1928 aerial view, actually it's a drawing, of the great West Clocks factory in La Salle, Peru, Illinois. You can't imagine how big this is. Those smokestacks have long been removed, but the diameter of them was just tremendous, and the height when I was a kid. This is the main entrance. I might have shown in other videos. This is the office building, and my wife worked in there in purchasing when we were first married. There are other buildings here that have not yet been built in this one, and that is where the West Clocks Museum is. But the reason I'm telling you all of this is after I was at Gary's house, 3 days after, there was a major fire here. Most of the buildings are empty, but other businesses have moved in. And the fire ended up being over in this area here, but it was like a 4-alarm fire, and they had the streets blocked off and all of that. So it was a terrible fire, but I think that there wasn't a whole lot of damage that will affect the rest of the building. But everything was shut down, and people were evacuated from the restaurant that's in here, and there's a brewery or a distillery or something in here. By the way, Across the street here, there was a tunnel underneath the road. And I've talked about that. Remember, my wife, she was young at the time, and a man hit on her in that office. I had in that tunnel. I had a picture of that tunnel in one of the videos, but it's blocked off now. All right, enough on that. Back to the actual subject of this video. And to cover another item from the last video, one Mr. Jim Offenbecker sent me the patent drawings to the Waltham spring checker, micrometer, thickness checker, and width and all of that. Remember, I showed that and several pieces were missing. Well, there's the actual patent for that. And I'll put still pictures of this at the end, and there's one other page, and I'm not even showing you the whole page here. I can scan down probably, and you can see the rest. And I have already donated this to Gary to put in the Clock Museum, so I no longer have the original to show you. You know, I searched and searched for this patent and could not find it. It's 1907, and it even evidently came with a stand, or, you know, patent drawings aren't always the same as the final product. So thanks, Jim, for sending this to me. I know I'm way off topic here, and I just told you that I donated this item to the Westclox Clock Museum, and Gary and his wife are two of the volunteers that helped there. That is in Peru, Illinois, if anybody would want to visit that. So there are 4 tools here we're concerned with. They have numbers on them, 1, 2, 3, and 4, so let's start with number 1. I'm sure this is a special use pliers, number 1. It's a slip joint, but any idea what it was actually made for? It's really a neat shape though, isn't it? And it's aluminum, so it wasn't meant for real heavy use, obviously, or it would break. No trademark, no name on it. What is number 1? Thank you to John DeRosa, who has donated several things to me over the years. You might remember his name. This, I would estimate at least half of you will know what this is, although there is no trademark, there is no name on it. I think it was probably sold under many names, and in some cases the name would be in this space here that is empty. But what the heck does this thing do? It's kind of intricate. There's a little bit of a ratchet here. I have never used one, but I have watched them being used. Pretty interesting. Somebody had it painted for identification, I would suppose. What is this item? And here's item 3, also donated by John DeRosa. A very, very unique and elegant looking hammer. I think this is called a strap type of head that's fastened with rivets to the wooden handle. I don't know if those are burn marks on there or what they are, but it's actually in remarkably good shape. Again, no name on it whatsoever. Look at the beautiful taper on that. Almost a chisel end here. And it's not a welding hammer. I know somebody's going to say that's a chipping hammer, but what is this number 3? Actually, I love it. That's suitable for as a wall hanger, isn't it? Thank you, John, for donating both those items. Okay, I'm not kidding when I say this came in a big brown truck only 15 minutes ago. It was very well packed, much better than what you see here. I don't like to do unboxings, but I guess I did, but I made it brief, didn't I? So what is this item? And it was sent to me clear from California by one Mr. Jim Files, and actually we swapped one another. I sent him some things and he sent this to me. I do know what it is. I had one at the high school years and years ago. There are a couple parts missing, but I think I can make them, although Jim said he might be able to find one of the other parts when he goes back to where he got this, because it might be still mounted on another machine, of which I will not tell you what it is. But what does this thing do? I think that a lot of you will know this, and I intend to do a full-blown video on this, probably restoring it and then actually demonstrating its use. But what in the heck is this? Kind of an expensive item. I don't think they make this particular model anymore. Well, I know they don't. This company's out of business. So what the heck is this thing? These were interesting items today. Notice the sound of my voice. I'm enthused again about my video series entitled What Is It? Because of the number of views in the last episode, plus many, many new subscribers because of that. Now that, be sure and send in your answers now in the comments and use the number. Refer to the number so I know what you're talking about, and the rest of you be sure and read the comments. Wait about a week, come back and read the comments, and then I'll have part 2 of this about a week from today with the answers. I hope I get all the answers, although I guarantee I won't get the answer for this. Now I have extra credit coming. I'm going up to the computer and show you some of the analytics on that last one, which is 82B, where this and 3 other items were included. So let's go up to the computer now. If you're not interested, this is the end of the video. Thank you for watching. This is Mr. Pete saying so long for now, but stay for extra credit. Well, also in extra credit, we have another item. This is number 5, and these pictures were sent to me by Dominic just a half hour ago, just before the brown truck came. What is this item? He is asking, what is this item? I do not know. I've never seen anything like it. There's a ruler laying there, combination square. There's another view of it, and I believe these are 5C collets. Pretty sure they are. A little motor here with a speed reducer. There's the drawbar. There's another view of it from the side. It has a variable speed up here on a Dayton motor, and there is the motor. So it's a very small motor of 1/15 of horsepower, so the thing doesn't have a lot of power. But what in the heck do you think this is? Or is it homemade? So that is item 5. By the way, thank you, Dominic. This is the video that I made 3 years ago, and it is entitled Tour of a Clockmaker's Shop, and that received 70,000 videos, so you may be interested in watching that. This is part 1. It is a 2-part video, well worth watching. A very long one. Check it out. Okay, this is the other video I have been talking about, number 82B. It received 54,000 views, whereas 82A only got the typical 7,000 views. Now let's take a look at the analytics. Here is a graph showing the number of views over a 24-day period. In the first week, so that's first 8 days here, you can see there wasn't much action, and that's typical of my videos. But all of a sudden it kind of took off there, and there are views still coming in. And what is the reason for that? I do not know. Probably nobody knows, but it's all due to the algorithms that YouTube has that no one understands, where the thing kind of takes off and people start watching it and it gets recommended by YouTube, and some viewers then pass it on, and like I said, I got new subscribers. Matter of fact, 350 new subscribers on that video. Let me show you another thing now, and then we're done finally. Many of you are probably not aware of all these analytics, and these are available only to the creator. No one else can see this except me, but I'm showing it to you right now. So this is the real-time graph. So within the last 48 hours, there were 1,500 views, and clicking on this, you'll see that even within the last 60 minutes, there were, well, let me click on that. that's the last 60 minutes, so even a few minutes ago there were 3 people watching, 1 person there, 3 people, and so on in the last hour. And that's several weeks after this video was published, that is still alive and well, where most videos after a week pretty much disappear into obscurity. So I've only shown you 2% of what is available for me to study and analyze. Thank you for watching. That finally is truly the end of this episode. Be sure and watch part 2 when available, and watch some of my other 1,500 videos that are in my legacy catalog.